Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. Oh my goodness, so good to see you guys. I know we were supposed to do some streams last weekend, but I'm going to be honest and say post-production has been going well, but it's very crazy. And I was sick when we were filming. When we left the city we were in, there was tons of like pollen and stuff happening. And all of us got like what we thought were allergies. Even like Chanel and Kat ended up getting some allergies. I ended up like thinking I was sick, had like a ear infection type of thing, got on medicine, thought I was better, and then last weekend like suddenly went way down. And the reason I took a few days off was with post-production happening as we speak, I need my ears because I'll be listening to like evidence EVPs and whatnot and doing audio editing. I needed to make sure that I rested to get well because editing is the priority right now. So anyways, what's up guys? Hopefully we'll be streaming this weekend. I believe Chanel is going to be coming on with me this weekend. We're going to be doing some chats about Edgar Allan Poe and probably a bunch of other random things like we normally do. And then I know last week I was going to do like kind of a chat on the haunted White House, which I still want to do that chat, but I was kind of worried with like, there was like the whole thing that was happening with the President of the United States that happened Friday, and I was afraid that it was going to trigger people, you know, to get upset, and I know emotions are running high with politics right now. So I decided to hold off on that stream because, you know, like I've said before, I want this channel to be an outlet where we can all come and express ourselves regarding paranormal without bringing day-to-day stressors in, such as politics, because we're already surrounded by it enough as it is. So anyway, we will touch base on that again because I found some really awesome stuff on lots of apparitions that are in the White House that we didn't even know about. Kat was even kind of researching it. She was like, this is so weird, I didn't realize. So we will address that soon. But in the meantime, something happened today that I was not aware of, that actually happened a few days ago. I think about 4 days ago, Kat was telling me. Kat she does our social media management, right? So she is always involved in watching what's going on in like paranormal pop culture and the paranormal community. And clearly she knows that I've been really kind of deep in doing post-production. And she had messaged us this morning saying, did you see what happened to Nick Groff? Did you see, you know, all of his shows were canceled except one, and then he was basically removed from those series, even as cast. Clearly even was executive producer at some point. So I had a ton of questions on all my social media platforms. It was kind of blowing up today. Some of you had heard about it. Some of you did not hear about it. Obviously, I have done several streams in the past regarding Nick when he was with Ghost Adventures, and even when he kind of sprung off and did his own thing with Destination America. But as you guys know, I always dig a little bit deeper. Even in my past streams regarding Nick, I was talking to you guys about the production side of it, right? A lot of people were getting like emotions involved, like, oh, you hate Nick, or you don't like Nick because he left Ghost Adventures, or blah, blah. This was never a personal issue until last year. I will say there were some personal things that happened last year between Nick and myself, and we will kind of get into that, which I didn't know him. I still, to be honest, don't know him personally. I've met him a couple of very, very brief times, but we will go into that, and we will also talk about, once again, what we're good at, which is breaking down paranormal production, okay? And I wanted to bring in Chanel and Kat, okay? Kat doesn't have years and years of experience with paranormal production, although she's now been training with me we're going on a year now. You know, she's been under my belt, and I've been teaching her about all of this paranormal production stuff because she is one of my producers on set now. So she is able to kind of scientifically break down what is happening not only on the scenes but behind the scenes. Like, why was Nick removed? He claims in this video that it wasn't his fault, that he had nothing to do with it, reiterating that he was fired or let go. Once again, it's not just on the surface. There is more things in depth. And Kat was even like, wow, I'm seeing it now. I'm understanding from all the training we've done regarding like not only production studios themselves, who are the people that actually produce the series, but the network which holds or pays for the series, okay? which in Nick's case it would be Destination America and Travel Channel now, because it was like moved briefly for a moment. Okay, and then Chanel, I wanted to bring her in on this because Chanel has worked for series before, just as like regular paranormal crew. She has also been cast for other series. She also understands and has seen the quote darker side of paranormal production, meaning producers want, especially women in this industry, to sell their soul because sex sells in every single industry, and she has seen that side of it. So I'm really excited to bring both of them in with this conversation with me. We're all very much on the same path and on the same page, but it's really good to kind of get everyone's opinions on what's happening on a deeper level. Once again, this is, I don't want people coming at me that are like, oh, you hate Nick, da 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 da. Honestly, no, I don't. I don't hate anyone in this industry. I am always strictly breaking production down on a very filmmaker's level. But Nick and I did have a personal kind of issue last year, and maybe not personal with him and I directly, but with his team members or crew and myself directly, along with my crew, which was very ugly, and things got ugly very fast, and we'll talk about that too. And the girls are well aware of this. Chanel was more involved with that part than Kat was, and Blake was also involved in that too. So I'm going to bring the girls over right now if everybody's ready. I'm literally drinking. This is my Taurus mug here, full of tea, right? I'm literally about to spill my tea. Actually, I'm not, because this is really good tea. I'm going to hold it. But figuratively, we're going to spill the tea, and I'm going to sip my delicious tea. And I think Kat has her Diet Pepsi, and I believe Chanel is drinking from a copper cauldron filled with the blood of her enemies, and she will be joining us shortly. Here we go. So I'm going to bring you guys in, okay? Let's bring in Chanel and Kat. Make sure Chanel and Kat, they're actually on hold at the moment. Please unmute so that I can bring you guys in. And once you're ready, just give me a thumbs up, and I'm going to go ahead and slide right into the next. Got you on? Gotcha? Chanel's good? Okay. Let's add in Miss Kat and Shanae. How's it going, ladies?
Oh, hey, girl. Hey, guys.
So Shanae lives in a small town. Let's just be honest about it. And her internet sometimes can be a little laggy. So you just have to, go with it. That's all. Let's just go with it, So I think her audio should be fine. Just her video might be lagging a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, so, let's just start from, today first, and then we'll back the truck up. Okay, let's start with today, and let's say Kat was doing social media management, and because you do all of our social media for us at GGD, which is a job in itself. Holler, girl, you kick butt, by the way, at it.
Hey, thanks. Thank you.
And you ended up finding this by accident. Why don't you just kind of go through how you found it and then how you felt like you needed to express it to us, what happened?
Yeah, so it was very strange how it all went down. It was actually a friend of mine that sent me the article off of higgypop.com. I don't know anything about them, but they posted an article saying paranormal lockdown canceled due to television production politics. So of course I have to take a look at it because, Nick Groff is on it and his face is plastered all over the article. And just really felt the need to obviously reiterate what happened. I did a little digging, went on his Twitter page and such, and saw that he did post a video about 4 days ago, briefly explaining, but not really about what happened or didn't happen. It was all really confusing at first. So, sent it in group chat, messaged the girls to just kind of get some other opinions, because it was all just so random. It was very
So let's just pause right there, because that's a good place to pause. So if you haven't heard this video, it's only a minute long, okay? I'm going to play the video right now, okay? It's probably going to look a little grainy. I have an iPhone X. It's amazing, so I will hold it up to the screen so you can kind of watch it. It probably won't be as clear as going to his Twitter page. Clearly, I'm playing this because who knows if this video will disappear. There is very small text in the very front of the video, and you'll hear audio of him speaking afterwards. The text says that he had actually posted a video prior, and the team, I'm assuming behind Destination America, called him, or maybe Travel Channel Discovery called him and asked him to remove the video. So let's see what this says, okay?
For the past 15 years, I've dedicated my life to the paranormal. The places I've seen, the adventures I've gone on, the history, the lockdowns, it's been life-changing. I've learned things about our world that never cease to amaze me. It's unfortunate, however, that we also live in a very opportunistic society where people and companies are so quick to forget not only what you've done for them, but the simple ethics of being a decent human being. Since this is now happening for a second time in my life, I want to make something very clear. I never left anything. So when you ask me about the past, we're confused as to why Paranormal Lockdown isn't continuing on, or why they recasted all of Ghosts of Shepherdstown, my answer to all three is very simple. It wasn't my choice. I'm very passionate about the work I do. It's sad when politics get in the way of successful shows continuing on with little to no explanation. To be honest, I want to thank you, because without you, what I'm about to do next would have never happened. Good luck.
Okay. So first of all, can I just say, just pointing out the obvious at first is, well, it seems a little narcissistic to me. Because one of the ethics I feel like I have learned from Zach and from working with Zach and watching him interact with his crew, Zach Bagans catches a lot of flack, okay? And I think it's really unfair because people haven't had the studio experience I have with working with different production companies professionally in the industry, okay? And seeing Zach interact with not just Aaron and Billy and Jay, and even maybe Nick at the time, but seeing him interact with like people that he works with at the museum, like I have befriended some of those people that are just in his circle that he works with. He really does appreciate the people that work for him, okay? So in this video, it seems very narcissistic to me for him to not only state that by himself, but where's Katrina in this? Why aren't you feeling bad for Katrina? She's just been cut as well. She was like the leading female in Paranormal Lockdown. And then the last season, you bring in Elizabeth Saint, who overshadows Katrina, which makes Katrina like this third wheel because Elizabeth Saint and Nick Groff are dating. Then, you look at Ghost of Shepherdstown, who's been recasted. And now Elizabeth Saint has also been knocked out of the picture, along with the other gentleman that was on there and the chief of police. Why is this all about Nick? Why is this all about Nick? Also, he had another show called Ghost Stalkers with John Tenney, whom I admire and love. I think he's amazing. He was a huge part of Unsolved Mysteries for many years and did tons of research in history. John Tenney is extremely intelligent. That was never really addressed. My question as an executive producer myself and as admiring Zach of his work ethic and how he works, why is it all about Nick? That was the very first thing that I was confused on. Like, he's producing this video, which by the way is full of lots of Adobe stock footage. Not much of that is his own footage. It's a lot of just stock footage you can purchase online. I know this as an EP and as an editor. But why aren't you addressing, like, I'm hopeful and grateful to all the people that I've worked with, plus all the crew that aren't the face of it, like not just Katrina, not just Elizabeth Saint. There are camera techs on this production that are working with him. There's producers. There's a ton of PAs that are not named. These people all deserve some sort of I'm sorry, or here's what's happening. I wish you luck. We did the best we could. Instead of just, it's all about me, me. I don't know how you guys felt about it. That's just my initial reaction.
Yeah, I really didn't like that he mentioned that, companies are so quick to forget not only what you've done for them, but the simple ethics of being a decent human being. I feel like that's not what he's doing. Right. You know what I mean? It makes no sense.
Right.
It makes no sense to me.
How do you feel, Chanel, just because you've been on the crew side of paranormal?
Yeah, I mean, I would have to agree on the part of not shining light on all of the other people that were involved in a lot of those projects, like crew, like you said, and other cast. Personally, as someone that has been in crew and cast before, it's important to recognize those people.
Mm-hmm. Because once again, you guys have now worked with me on set. We've done practice runs. We've done a full professional run. You've been in training with me for like a year. You all understand now that it's not just Nick Groff making one series, right? Like, he might be the EP behind it, but the EP cannot be the DP and the cinematographer and several producers on set, along with the hosts and the guests and everybody else that's behind him. It takes more than one person to make a series. So I was first just really disappointed that it was all about him and his next journey and stuff. I understand that was his answer to his fans, but he should have either made an extra video or a follow-up video talking about what happens to all these people that were involved previously now, right? So now let's go back. Let's just rewind now for a minute. We go back to, when he first initially left Ghost Adventures, right? There's all this speculation that he quit. A lot of people were saying Zach and him were fighting and that's why he left, or like Zach wasn't treating him good and all this stuff. And I told you guys it wasn't about any of that. It was all strictly stripped down to a production contract that was probably not ethically followed, right? For multiple reasons. And one of them is that I found out he was signed with Ghost Adventures and the Travel Channel while creating 3 separate contracts with a completely different network, which at the time was Destination America. So he made 3 contracts while in contract with the Travel Channel and Ghost Adventures, and Zach being his co-EP. He made a contract for Ghost Stalkers with John Tenney. He made a contract for Paranormal Lockdown with Katrina. And then last he made another contract with Elizabeth Saint for Ghost of Shepherdstown. You cannot do that when you're in a professional studio contract. And I'm not even talking about just with like the Travel Channel. There are overseers of the Travel Channel, which right now is Discovery. It's the Discovery Network, okay? You cannot do that without getting permission. And you are absolutely going to be fired if you don't get permission from doing that. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Why? One, because Travel Channel might say, Nick, wait, if you have 3 shows that are ready to be like in production, we want to be the first people that get bids on being able to purchase that series for our network. That's number 1. Number 2, they might say no, because you're already in contract with us. We're concerned you EPing 3 other series is going to be too much for you. I had heard through the grapevine he had been professionally upset with Zach because he was also in the process of doing Aftershocks. Nick wasn't involved with that. At that time, he was on set with the Demon House. He had also walked off set from the Demon House. And also, there are bids and contracts with certain networks, meaning in your contract, once again, you need to either get an agent or get a lawyer to look over your contract. And you can agree to sign, and I'm just going to put this in kind of like dummy terms, okay? I'm not going to use big legal terms. You can agree for the network to keep a portion of your salary or of your pay to go back into investing either in stock, in the network, or in the series, which clearly gives you more leverage later on, not only creative control, but ownership, right? So all of these years, Zach had been reinvesting back with his contract into the Travel Channel, which created him as, sole EP, right? Sole executive producer. And Nick hadn't. Nick had not, he admitted this. He had not been getting his contracts looked by lawyers. He didn't have an agent to look over his contract. And unfortunately, that's what happens, is he kind of screwed himself. It's like, congratulations, you played yourself type of thing. And at the end of the day, when he ended up signing these 3 other series, the Travel Channel was like, well, you don't have any equity here anyway. Not in the network, not in the production. We don't need you. And honestly, at the end of the day, I don't think Zach could have saved him if he wanted to, because it was really up to the network. That is such a big no-no. Like, I have been in several contracts, you guys know that, with major networks, and in fine print, it says you are not allowed to be in contract with another network or another series without permission. Like, that is in, like, big, bold, fine print. You don't ignore that. And so, fast forward again, we'll touch back on this in a minute, just to hear Kat and Chanel's opinions. We fast forward to December of 2017. Okay, so there's this like huge discussion going on where Discovery, the Discovery Network, which is the big umbrella where all of these networks are underneath it, meaning like Animal Planet, Destination America, Travel Channel. Discovery is going to buy Destination America, and it will be re-owned. So Nick Groff will be re-owned by the same network he was with the Travel Channel. Well, what do you think is going to happen with his track record? of course, when they're going to say, let's move your 3 series from Destination America to Travel Channel, they're going to see his track record and be like, oh, wait a second. He was fired from the Travel Channel because he went behind their backs and made 3 separate contracts. That does not look good to executives at networks. And by the way, these executives at networks have millions of dollars to spare to throw around to create new series. Nick Groff is nothing to them. Because he's already screwed them once, they're going to say he's going to screw us again. We have to cut ties. And to be honest, the video that he created on Twitter, to me, reiterates it, because he kept saying, I didn't do this. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my choice. So, what's your opinion, Kat, on this? And then we'll go to Chanel.
Sweet and simple. Karma came. Karma came and delivered. That's literally how I feel about it.
You can't screw networks. You can't screw people. And unfortunately, film is, there are unethical things that happen in film. We all know that. It's been a part of Hollywood forever. But you still have to play by the network's rules. You can't not play by the network's rules. And, I mean, Chanel, what do you think about what had happened?
I think it's really unprofessional. And I also feel like that's the kind of thing that can get you blacklisted.
Blacklisted. Amen, sister. I feel like that's already the direction that we're at with him. I mean, he was at Travel, he went to Destination, they tried to move him back to Travel. And am I right? Like, not too long ago, there was some statement made where he had said that they were going to be filming for Paranormal Lockdown with Katrina. That wasn't too long ago.
Yeah, that wasn't too long ago.
I feel like that was like October, November when we were together at Universal. We had heard that they were re-signed.
Yeah, so it's all recent. Nothing's been heard from Katrina either regarding the incident.
Really?
So
okay.
I'm curious. Yeah.
See, and I'm going to be truthful right now. I was like, I've had words with Elizabeth. Elizabeth Saint does not like me because I called her out on my channel for being a full-blown actress, because indeed she is. She was extremely offended that I called her an actress. Although she is an actress, you should not be ashamed of your resume. She has a full-on professional IMDb pro page with all of her listings. She shouldn't be ashamed that she's an actress. That is very hard to get where she has been. But she was embarrassed in front of the paranormal community because I called her out for being an actress. She tried to say, but I'm an engineer. And yes, she does have an engineering degree. And I wish, instead of, portraying this fake psychic on Ghosts of Shepherdstown, that she would have used her engineering degree for good. Because in a world of paranormal where it is dominated by men, how good would it have looked for her to bring out her skills as a female engineer in this industry?
No kidding.
I mean, it would have made, but now she's totally blown her credibility in the industry. So I don't know how she's going to recover from that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't either.
Go ahead.
I found something on Katrina.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like she's going to be appearing in a new paranormal show alongside TV personality Jack Osborne. Portals to Hell will premiere on the U.S. Travel Channel on April 19th. And we will see the pair try to uncover what lies, in haunted locations.
Good for her.
So it looks like she's set, which is good. I'm really happy.
I really like Katrina. I really enjoy her. I think she's a very serious investigator. I enjoyed her even on Paranormal State. I feel bad for her. I feel like she keeps getting involved in these really kind of dysfunctional men who are claiming to be, producers or whatever. Like, first she was involved with, what's it called? Ryan Buell, who was Paranormal State, who he had this big embarrassing moment where he was embezzling from thousands of fans. Then he went to jail. And then her name's plastered. Now she's with Nick, and now she's like, oh man, I feel so bad for Katrina. She doesn't deserve this. You know what I mean? Like, none of this is her fault. So I'm glad to see her keep going.
Me too.
Now, next chat, how do we address the issue we personally had with Nick Groff? How do we address it?
That's a good question. Just saying it, I guess. I mean,
I have met Nick Groff a couple of times, very briefly. He's not like Aaron Goodwin, where he's like, oh, I want to meet his fans and da da da. And this was years ago. This is like or maybe right at the time of my paranormal challenge days, okay, when I was doing like public appearances and I was going to like all of the paranormal conventions and stuff. So I met him just a few times very briefly. Very nice, but clearly only met him for brief moments, so I can't really say much more than that. Never befriended him in a certain way, like not professionally or even in like an investigator sort of stance. It was just always kind of like a distant sort of thing. Nick and I got personal last year. We got really personal. There was a couple of things that happened. One had to do with my school. I'm going to film school at UNLV, and he is alumni from UNLV at Las Vegas, and that was a personal issue we had. And another personal issue we had was regarding his streaming service, VidiSpace. So I think don't quote me on this, but I do believe the VidiSpace issue happened before my school issue happened. Okay, so let's chat with the VidiSpace part. Okay, VidiSpace was launched officially, I think, maybe a couple of years ago, but it didn't really come to light till about last year. And I am probably one of the bigger paranormal channels on YouTube, right? We have millions of views, although YouTube has rolled us back a few times, but I still stand at having millions of views, right? And with that being said, I had announced on YouTube last year, 2017 or 2018, that I was going to quit YouTube. And then at the time I had moved to Twitch, okay? And then didn't really know my next move yet, but I had been streaming a lot on Twitch, and I'd been discussing the possibility of starting Ghost Girl Diaries, this series, which clearly has now come to fruition, right? A year later. The very first odd thing that happened with Nick was when I moved to Twitch, suddenly he had created a Twitch channel as well. Except he wasn't streaming paranormal chats like I was. He was streaming video games. And I think Elizabeth Saint was, don't quote me again, I think they were like sharing the Twitch channel back and forth, okay? So that was the first thing. I had a lot of my fans that were like, oh, I feel like you're getting tailgated a little bit. And I was like, yeah, clearly that's kind of weird. Fast forward over the summer, about May of 2018, I had officially made the decision with my co-EP Blake that we were going to create Ghost Girl Diaries, the series, okay? At this point, when I finally announced it, I had already hired Chanel, and I had already hired our past employee, Brittany, okay? I also had a lot of other people working for me at that time that are not necessarily working for me now. Like, I had moderators. They're called moderators for your Twitch channel, which is people that will mod to make sure, like, nobody's talking bad or talking crap and all that stuff, and they block them or ban them from the room, okay? My mods, along with Chanel and Brittany, myself and Blake, started to become extremely harassed and bullied and stalked by employees of VidiSpace. They basically wanted us, I had announced leaving YouTube, I had announced doing Ghost Girl Diaries, the series, and I became stalked and harassed along with everyone else, wanting us to move the series to VidiSpace and not sell it to Netflix or Hulu, okay? They were like, at first it seemed kind of nice. I was kind of flattered at first that Nick Groff supposedly wants me to come to his channel, or I'm sorry, his streaming service. And, you know, I, of course, being a business person, my first question is, what do they have to offer? What's the financial benefit out of it? What's the benefit in general about it? And the more I started learning about VidiSpace, the less I liked it. At the time, they wanted all subscribers. In order to even watch my series, every one of my fans would have to pay $20 a month, which I found outrageous because I'm like, first of all, you have just launched this. Second of all, Netflix, which is the biggest one, only charges, $7.99, $8.99 a month? Why are you trying to charge fans $20 a month for something that hasn't even, like, become anything yet? On top of that, my next question was, if it's $20 a month that my fans will be paying to watch my series, what is my financial benefit out of it compared to YouTube? And you'll never guess what my financial benefit was. I will hold up the number for you. It was a 0. There was no payments per episode. There was no payments per views. The only thing I would get out of it is what we get out of YouTube, which is called AdSense. So per clicks that people will see ads are what I get paid out of pocket. So it was clearly pennies on the dollar that I was going to get paid compared to him getting $20 a month from my fans, okay? I was offended for a lot of reasons. One, I'm a producer. I don't work for free. Two, I'm going to be producing you a series that's going to cost me a lot of money out of my pocket. Kat and Chanel know that I have spent thousands and thousands of dollars for the series, and I'm going to be getting no reimbursement from it. Absolutely not going to happen under my watch. And I admire anybody that's on VidiSpace. I don't know if their rules, regulations, compensation has changed, but at the time, I was like, absolutely not. I might as well stay at YouTube, have YouTube roll my views back, have them remove my subscribers and not notify my subscribers, and I will still then probably make more on YouTube than I would on VidiSpace, okay? Because, once again, the only time I'm going to get ads rolling on my stuff that I'm producing is when fans are willing to first just pay the $20 to access it, right? So I'm like, no, this isn't going to work. So because I said no, there was a battle. There was a total lockdown battle where I started getting harassed and literally bullied by people working for VidiSpace, working with him. I don't know if it was ever Nick directly. I think it was mainly he had a lot of toxic people surrounding him that were doing things that he may not know they were doing, or he may know that they're doing. In the meantime, I had to send out a cease and desist letter to get it to stop. I was like, the harassment's got to stop. And, you know, the thing about me, even as a YouTuber, as a producer, I have always minded my own business. I might, you know, dissect these shows from a producer standpoint, but generally speaking, I stay to myself. I have a lot of tunnel vision. When I get my own vision and I know what I'm doing, I stay to myself and I don't care what everyone else is doing around me. But in this part, it felt like Nick just came into my business and now I'm going to get mad, okay? Because you don't want to get in my way. I'm a stampeding Taurus right here, the Taurus mug. You don't want to get in a Taurus's way, okay? You don't want to stay in your lane, boo. Get out of my lane. Stay in your bubble. Don't get in my bubble. You're going to be sorry, okay? So long story short was, after weeks worth of bullying, fighting, rampage happening to not only myself but my crew, which might I add that Blake got probably the worst of it. He was in some really knockdown dragouts with some people. I assume that the people that he has surrounding him are quite misogynistic because they didn't think that I could negotiate, bringing in GGD to VidiSpace, so they went to Blake because he's the only major male on the crew. But even Blake doesn't have the final say. I do, boo-boo. I'm the creator content, boo. Okay? And no offense, Blake knows what he's doing. He's very smart with production. But when it comes to the business side of me, boo-boo, that's me. And clearly you don't want to talk to me, okay? So anyway, I'm getting heated.
Amen, girl.
I'm getting heated.
Amen,
Somebody
girl.
get me a Beyonce fan. I need a Beyonce fan. I'm getting hot. Woo! I'm getting so hot.
It was just, I think what was just crazy about it was the fact that when you told them no, they got mad. And then they got creepy. Creepy stalkerish. Which is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I mean, how unprofessional is that?
Chanel, I did call you. Okay, so then I started to get threats from these people stating that they were going to take my employees and my content, okay? And like threats that they were basically going to go to Chanel and they were going to take her into a new series, okay? So, of course, I did a professional thing. Chanel, I called you, right? I said, if you want to go and you want out of contract, I said I will let you go, right? I was very fair. She's quiet because she's like, I just don't even want to address this. So stupid.
And what did I say? I said, hell no.
Verbatim.
So anyway, another little piece of irony that happened to happen while this is all going down. Now take in mind, over the summer, last summer, I'm in the process of hiring, right? Like I'm hiring in Kat, and I'm hiring in Chanel, and I'm hiring mods, and I'm hiring production crew. It's a lot of freaking work, okay? Like my position, I work 16 hours a day, not even kidding. I also love what I do, I'm not gonna lie. But at the point I'm hiring all these people is when all of these people are coming at me. And I'm kind of vulnerable because I have just decided to like quit my full-time job. I've decided to quit YouTube, which is all I've known for the past few years. And now I'm hiring people that I'm having a hard time learning who to trust and how to trust them. And then now suddenly I've got these like horrible people who I thought were professionals in the industry, meaning Nick, right, and his crew. And clearly they are not professional, and I think they're really dysfunctional. I think they're terrible that they are doing this to people. I'm assuming I'm not, actually, I will tell you that a lot of other paranormal YouTubers do follow me, and they will message us often. I did hear from several other paranormal YouTubers that they too were harassed the same way we were. So what my assumption was with Blake, we assumed that they were desperate to get paranormal content onto VidiSpace, and so they were trying to bully and harass people, paranormal YouTubers, into coming to their own paranormal streaming service, okay? So the irony part in all of this was if I thought it wasn't over with that. Now I'm like trying to do the professional thing, send cease and desist, tell them to stop, leave me alone, back off, ignore. I'm putting like all of these people on ignore because they're even like shouting at me on like social media, on Twitter. They're coming onto my public Facebook pages talking smack, trying to bully me, harass me. As if that wasn't bad enough. Within the same time frame, here's where it gets really good. All of the sudden, I get a letter in the mail from Washington, D.C., from the United States Trademark Service, stating that someone has claimed Ghost Girl Diaries as their own, and now I am in a legal lawsuit over my own damn trademark, which I have owned since like 2013. I have the damn copyright in front of me, y'all, okay? I am still in a dispute over that, so we can't talk about it. We can't really talk about who may have started this dispute with my trademark. But all I'm going to say is I don't deal with dirty people, okay? To me, this is like super dirty. It's super low. It's unethical. And in my opinion, when you're a bad person and you're putting bad energy into this world, the universe is going to pay you back, boo. Karma is never going to forget its debt, and it's going to come back and it's going to get you. And I didn't even have to do anything. I literally just had to sit back, give it some time, and wait and watch. So go ahead, Kat. I know you're bursting at the seams right now.
I'm just, it just really bothers me because, and I'm trying to simmer down the Aries right now. And it's kind of working, but not really. If he is so full of himself to post that 1-minute video, not giving a damn about anybody else that was a part of his journey, and if he's that big of a deal, why is he getting so angry at Krystal and all of these other people that want nothing to do with him? If you're that big of a deal, why don't you go and do your own thing and not stress about it? Mm-hmm. It makes no sense to me. And that's all I'm going to say on it, because it just makes me mad. So.
Well, and with that, too, when I was making the decision not to go to VidiSpace, of course, as a producer, as an executive producer, in the back of my mind, of course I'm thinking Nick Groff got fired from Travel Channel because he did unethical things and ruined his contract. Why would I want to work with somebody like that? I mean, Chanel, what's your opinion? Because you've worked with producers, EPs, you get it.
For sure would not want to work with him whatsoever. I don't know. I don't even know what to say.
Well, blacklisted. You said it perfectly earlier. Blacklisted. Nobody wants to work with him because nobody trusts him ethically. I mean, isn't that an accurate statement?
Yeah, it is. He needs to take a step back, take a break for a minute, I think, because even the comments on Twitter on his own post, people were really negative.
So
because they all see it.
With that question too, you said you were doing a little bit of research, and you were kind of, as social media manager, you were looking at his video. You rewatched it several times, Kat. You said there was a lot of things in there that kind of bothered you by it. Just the quotes he was saying, it was about himself. It was, he was not taking ownership for anything he had done.
No, nothing. Absolutely nothing. And that I feel like that really bothers me. And I feel like you're kind of asking for people to tell you their opinions about you if you're going to spew that. It was just extremely egotistical, everything he was saying. It brings back to his quote, and I have it right in front of me, so I'm literally quoting him. Companies are so quick to forget not only what you've done for them. What has he done for them? That's the question. What has he done for people, right, or these people? They don't need him. Mm-hmm. Right. Clearly, because he's not getting anywhere.
Right.
God bless him. Wish him the best. But for real, dead. Like, there's so many other ways this could have been handled, and I feel like he's just angry or pissed and just acting it on a whim. And it goes back to, even the video itself, the quality of the video. Chanel told us in group chat exactly that, and Krystal. It was mainly stock footage. You don't think people in production are not going to know that?
Well, and let's define, Chanel, define stock footage for us. Will you define stock footage for people that don't know what that means?
It's basically just already recorded clips that you can find on the internet or, online and use in your videos. I think they're non-copyrighted, right?
Well, so cinematographers. So Chanel is one of our cinematographers. Okay, if she owned one of our 4K cams, she could go out all day, every day, shoot as much B-roll footage as she wanted to, and then she can get online to places like Adobe, and she can sell those clips in like 30-second increments. Okay, and then people will buy that clip, a 30-second clip, for $15. But, it adds up. Clearly, if you get 100 people to buy that 30-second clip, it's going to add up, right? So you can actually make a living off of just being a cinematographer and collecting stock footage. It needs to be good stock footage because they won't sell it. These companies won't sell it if it's not good. But he's collected a bunch of stock footage, and then that's where he created this video. Which, in my opinion, once again, at the end, he should have had credits. The right way to do it for a filmmaker is to roll credits and to roll where he obtained that footage from. Yes, it is free copyright. You're right, Chanel. But he still should be saying, footage thanks to Adobe stock footage or wherever he got it from. Because it was quite a bit. It was a lot of stock footage. Also, clearly, as a cinematographer, Chanel was peeved, okay?
She was very peeved. It was so funny.
What I've also noticed in the video as well was that some of the clips, in my opinion at least, didn't fit. Like, it didn't make sense with what he was saying. Mm-hmm. Because he had clips of, like, paranormal, like him investigating. Then he had clips of the clouds. Then he had some sort of, like,
did you say a cloud? Is there a cloud in there?
I don't even know.
A random cloud.
Cloud. There's just a random cloud.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm dead. I can't breathe. Oh my god. When I get with you guys, literally. Okay.
The sass is real. For real, though. Come on. Chanel and I were talking about it earlier. I called her earlier today, and I did end up finding, I don't know, actually, Chanel, it might have been you that found something. It was like a photo of Nick filming something new. Right? So that might be whatever he's discussing in his video he posted 4 days ago about how he's going to go do something different now. Because of the situation, it's motivating him to actually go do something. Thank God, because maybe you do need to go do that. But, but it was just so funny. But when I looked at the photo, it looks like it's almost like motivational speaking or something. Like, I don't know how he's going to tie in paranormal with that, but... Chanel found it.
It kind of looked like something along the lines of like a fitness thing.
Oh, fitness!
Which made no sense.
No, it does make sense. He owns gyms on the East Coast. He owns like a gym chain on the. Remember? Oh, he was in training a few years ago to be on American Ninja Warrior, and he thought, yeah, that's another story. I don't know if we have time for that today.
I am so so confused right now. Okay, it's fine. We'll chat later.
Well, he's always been into fitness, and like, so he like invested in this fitness chain. He's from New England, I think. And he decided he was going to be on American Ninja Warrior, which he was. And there was one point a few years ago where he promoted everybody go watch me on American Ninja Warrior. And so all the fans went on that night, including me. I wanted to watch him. And then there was no clips of him. They had edited him out of it because apparently he didn't make it through the whole like track. But I guess he dropped that he was EP and all, you know, all that stuff, but they still didn't show him, and he was like really disappointed. So yeah, so that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense to me. Maybe he's tired of the paranormal community, but then again, he may have burned his own bridge there a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, it's like
it's on fire. It's an ash.
Like literally no bridge. Like there's no more bridge.
There's a toothpick.
That's why I'm saying.
There's a
I feel like if he just took a second to just like take a breather and just back away for a second, it'd be different if he came back.
Well,
but
so
you know,
then
things just keep blowing up. So, you know,
there's no bridge left. There's no bridge.
God.
But no, like, okay, once again, we want, you know, where we got personal with Krystal. Okay, we got personal with Krystal again. I had posted a couple of videos on my personal YouTube channel, which at the time was youtube.com/Krystal Leandra with 2 A's. Now it has been changed to youtube.com/Ghost Girl Cosmetics because I have my own online store. Those videos are still on there. So what had happened was I went to the same film school that Nick and Aaron went to, which I'm still going there, which is UNLV, downtown Vegas. And I had been accepted and gotten this really big scholarship too. I got a really huge scholarship and was super excited to go. And then when I showed up, you know, you have to share what you do, paranormal production, all this stuff. I had the entire staff turn against me, becoming these like misogynistic a-holes that you're used to seeing in Hollywood. And I called the entire department out for being a-holes, including one of the teachers stalked me. West McDowell stalked me. And I went to compliance and nobody did anything about it. Like, these people went nuts. So anyway, it kind of blew up really fast. The videos blew up fast. And all of a sudden, the next thing, so the department is making fun of me, mocking me for doing paranormal film, not just because of like the ghost aspect, just because there's night vision involved. How can you make a film out of it? You know, all that stuff. They're just mocking me to the point where they're like making me into like a joke. I was almost on the verge of being like depressed because it was just being surrounded by that toxicity constantly. Out of nowhere, the chair of the department gets a hold of Nick Groff and brings Nick Groff and Elizabeth Saint to the film department where I'm still attending, and praised how much of a wonderful executive producer he is in paranormal film. Yet I've been going through hell for months, being one of the few females, only female in paranormal EP, and they have like made a mockery out of me. It was just the most like condescending crap you've ever seen. And Nick stood there in front of the entire film department while the men in the film department praised him for being an executive producer in paranormal, while they were doing the complete opposite to me. And I'm assuming Nick was aware of what was happening. Because why of all times would Nick be invited to UNLV to speak as alumni while a YouTuber that's known for paranormal is going to the same damn school? You know what I mean? Like, it was just too obvious what was happening. Might I add, the VidiSpace thing had just happened a couple months prior to that. So it was just like the most ridiculous thing that had ever happened. I do have on another video Nick Groff's chat while he was at the university. It's on this channel. You'll have to scroll through and find it, so you will hear him speak. But anyway, I was getting all these personal jabs from Nick, and it's all because I didn't go to VidiSpace. And I find him unethical. I find him to be, and you know, I've never spoke out against anybody in the community, because still to this day I have no problems with anybody. But I will tell you what, when he decided to get personal with me, it was not the other way around, then I had a problem with him. And I don't hate him, I just find him to be a really sad human being who can't seem to get a break for himself. So he's constantly trying to piggyback off of everybody else, which I think is the perfect segue into our next topic, ladies, which is, does everybody know that VidiSpace now has a new series on there called, ready?
Oh.
Wait for it. Are you ready?
Just guess.
Ghost Girls. Ghost Girls is on VidiSpace. If you would like to go pay $20 a month to watch whoever Ghost Girls are, I'm assuming created by Nick Groff due to inspiration from Krystal Leandra, season finale winner Paranormal Challenge with Zach Bagans, arrow to head right here. You're welcome, Nick, for the idea. I hope you enjoy it. Anyway, what's your opinion on that, girls?
Not shocked.
No from me.
Not shocked, and yeah, it's a big no. Big no. You know what? Best of luck. What I gotta say. If I say any more, it's not gonna be nice, so I'm just gonna...
Chanel, anything? Any words, Chanel? No words?
How much more obvious can it get? To be honest, like Ghost.
Do we know who's on it? Who was on it?
No, I haven't done any research on it. I have no idea. I don't know that. This is nothing personal. Whoever is the crew or production staff or people on Ghost Girls, I don't know you. And I have no issues with you. So let's just make that clear. Chanel and Kat have no issues with you.
Yeah.
It's just very obvious after GGD has been established for so many years. Might I add to that? Let me just piggyback off of that for a second. When I got my trademark for Ghost Girl Diaries in like 2013 along with my copyright, just so they know, Ghost Girl has already been copyrighted and trademarked. They won't be able to do that because there is some artist that's an anime artist in like Japan or China who has a character titled Ghost Girl that's already been trademarked and copyrighted. So they probably should have checked that out before they created a series with that title, because I had to also fight that with Ghost Girl Diaries. They wanted to make sure I wasn't taking credit for that anime character. So anyway, that wasn't very smart on whoever's end that's producing it. But yeah, I find it really ironic after all of the harassment, stalking, showing up to my university, the trademark issue, someone disputing my own trademark that I own. Suddenly now there's a series called Ghost Girls. I hope you enjoy the inspiration, boo. And I also hope you enjoy watching from your angle wherever you're at, because what I'm creating right now with Chanel and Kat is as authentic as it can get. It is not scripted. It is 100% real and raw as you see it. And I'm not here to fake anything or piggyback off anybody's ideas, boo. I'm doing my own thing. And doesn't that feel good? But doesn't it feel good when you know you put in your own work?
For real.
Doesn't it feel good knowing you thought of your own idea, you did your own thing, and you're not stealing other people's ideas, and you're not constantly trying to make a quick buck by doing things fast?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, gosh, you know how much energy you have to waste to try to piggyback off of other people? Like the energy that takes.
And there seems to be a bit of a pattern with the non-originality. Is that a word? I mean, in Hollywood too, you know, with all the remaking of these movies and like cartoons and Disney movies, it's just like animated movies. I don't know. Weird.
Well, there was like competition that had happened when I had called Elizabeth Saint out for being an actress. Once again, she shouldn't be offended by that. She should be very proud of her own credentials. Elizabeth,
she plasters it everywhere.
Right. Well,
that she's an actress.
At the time, she had said she was like apparently in competition with me wanting to produce the first female series of Paranormal. And my response to her was, I'm not in competition with anybody, boo. You make a series, I make a series, and guaranteed they are not to come out the same, because directors never make the same exact thing over and over. Whatever her creative vision is not the same as mine. I am not in competition with you, so you get it. I encourage all women in paranormal to do whatever they think is best. I don't tear other people down like we've seen with what their crew does. I build people up, because I think that there needs to be more good paranormal series in this industry, and I don't tear people down. And, you know, just don't get in my lane. Don't get in my bubble. I don't like it. And so anyway, I don't know who ghost girls are. I hope y'all research it, go for it, do whatever makes you happy. Just note that, God, people, maybe if we would get our own original ideas, then we wouldn't be sitting here scavenging trying to make another dollar. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like, so many of the fans for Ghost Girl Diaries have been like, why isn't the series out? What's going on? And I've been like, because I'm doing this right, guys. Because, you know, it takes time to do this right. You can be like a typical producer and like rush things and get things done really fast and try to make a quick dollar. And that's when things get screwed up. I mean, what do you guys think? You know, now that you've been on set working with me pre-production, like, you know how much time and energy it takes to do this.
Yeah, it's a lot. It takes a lot. And, you know, we've been able to do it with, you know, the small amount of crew that we have, and it's come out beautifully. And wouldn't have it any other way.
It's true.
Honest to God.
And it's taking time, but it's going to be great. And it's going to be authentic.
It's going to be
and
beautiful
real.
already.
I know. So let's, like, switch into a really good note. So we're going to end this on a good note, okay?
Yeah.
The good note is our like pilot that we filmed a couple weeks ago, right, is the very first time we've ever shot in 4K, right? We shot everything in 4K, including night vision. It was the very first time I've ever shot in 4K night vision, okay? And I wasn't sure what to expect. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. Oh my God. 4K,
it's so pretty.
4K night vision. Holy crap. You could see a mouse fart on 4K night vision. Like, literally. Like, I mean, the clarity of, like, evidence that we got is just ridiculous. Like, I told Kat and Chanel, like, later on when we continue to film the series and whatnot and more episodes, I will guarantee that because of how crisp 4K night vision is, I guarantee that we are going to get multiple full-bodied apparitions on film.
Yeah, undoubtedly. It was so clear. So clear.
It was beautiful. I mean, even Chanel, she looked a little possessed in one of those shots that we sent. Look, okay.
One of the stills. Oh my God. It's amazing. And, you know, we all had vibes that it was going to go really well, but just seeing that come to fruition already, you know, while in post-production is just, it's really emotional. It's really emotional. But it was amazing. Yeah. I can't wait to be able to share it with everybody.
It went amazing. The footage, you guys you're going to die when you see some of this footage. Like, we got so much evidence. I don't even think I'm going to be able to put it all in one episode, to be honest. Does that mean we'll make a second episode like we talked about with one location? Maybe. I don't know. But and the audio was so crisp and, like, I mean, let me just say that what took the longest was obtaining all of the gear because we had to replace every single camera from 1080 to 4K, which is very expensive because they're high quality, like, megapixel beautiful cameras, okay? It was worth it. It was so worth it because these cameras, oh my God. Like, now I'm in the process, like, I started researching cameras again, and we were talking about, there's called a tilt zoom camera, and it's like a motion camera. You guys have seen them on Ghost Adventures where their X-cams will move. They make those, but I'm trying to find them with audio as 4K, and, like, we are so far ahead of, like, the gear that's even being made right now. Like, those cameras are not even, like, a tilt zoom camera with audio in 4K doesn't even exist yet. And I'm sitting here like, man, why do we have to have such high requirements on the market? But that's also because, I mean, we have some of the best damn film and paranormal equipment out there. Plus, Rob's creating us stuff as our engineer.
Hey, Rob.
Shout out to Rob. What's up?
Yeah. Shout out to Rob.
I know. But we're going to have the most amazing, beautiful footage. Oh, my God. The drone footage, you guys.
Literally in tears.
I was crying in the car.
Absolutely crying, yeah.
Mainly because the drone didn't work twice, but that's, like, beside the point, okay? literally,
it was an experience.
We drove up a mountain twice to use the drone, and it didn't work, and so we had to make a third trip. But anyway, and I was crying about that. No,
great.
Finally, when we got the drone to work, oh my god, the footage is 4K. It is freaking seamless. It's beautiful. The cinematography. Chanel did a lot of B-roll as our cinematographer. She did oh my god, it's gonna blow everybody out of the water. Like, 4K was the way to go. And you know what? Yeah. Once again, this is comparing back. Let's just touch back briefly on Nick Groff. There is a big difference between trying to rush something and then, he blasted out 3 series that didn't work, right? And then doing something the way I'm doing it, the way I feel like I have ethically learned from Zach, which is doing it slow, doing it right, purchasing the right equipment, getting the right people involved, and look at what has happened. Look at the outcome that we have. I mean, it's worth the wait. And it's going to be a longevity. It's not going to be a fly-by-night series. Once this is submitted, people are going to be like, oh my god, this is so different. And on top of that, the evidence that we captured is evidence that has never been seen before on TV. Ever.
Yeah.
Including Krystal screaming.
Literally. Yeah, at the top of her lungs.
Chanel, I blame you.
Chanel.
Don't shake me, Chanel. Don't you shake me, okay?
Don't shake me. Oh, God.
Don't be behind me and shake me. I will scream. Like, literally, I had a blood-curdling scream, guys, and it shook the walls. You can feel, like, the baseboard.
And then I ran away.
Yeah, Kat is our Erin completely. She's 100%.
I had a moment and ran the other direction. So we're just going to leave it at that.
I turned around, where's Kat? And Chanel's like, I don't know where she went.
Oh my god.
So anyway, what do we learn from this lesson? We learned that you need to put good karma out into the world. You need to learn to be nice to people because you never know who they are. You never know who's in your audience, right, Kat? That's been a big lesson for you.
Yes, it has.
You never know who's in your audience.
One.
You never know who you're talking to, and be kind. It goes a lot further than being a rotten person. For Chanel, the lesson is don't use stock footage or she's gonna know, okay?
And the stream, the stream talking about the topic, too, was not about hate at all.
No.
Not about hate. It was about talking about what our specific experience was like and what we've heard through the grapevine. And honest to God, that's it. So just to squash that in case anybody thinks that we're sitting here spewing hate. That's not the case at all.
And I feel like it's also, what is done to you says more than how you handle it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I have stayed silent for almost a year. I haven't talked about this publicly. And, clearly I just think that bullying is never okay. Bullying and harassment is never okay. I try to hold myself very, very professional in this industry. You guys know that. You guys have known me for years now, being on YouTube. But you can't treat people badly and not expect the universe to do something else back. And, I had a lot of moments where I just wanted to get on Twitter and have a rant because I was like, there's been moments fighting this trademark. I'm still in the middle of a legal battle that I was having breakdowns. Like, if people only knew what was going on, I should just expose what happened. But I held my head high. I obviously kind of always had a feeling that the universe would repay its debt because it always does, unfortunately. And you just shouldn't treat people badly. You shouldn't treat people badly, not only in a profession, especially not professionally, but not personally either. Just like how, Kat got, kind of physically assaulted when we were in downtown Vegas a few weeks ago, and I got in somebody's face then, okay, I'm gonna always get in your face. If you come in my lane, I'm gonna get in your face. It doesn't matter if it's in my work or not, okay?
That was an experience, yeah.
Just don't be rude,
And caring more about others than yourself also goes a long way. No matter what you do, whatever level you're at, it's just a nice thing to account for.
Well, and I feel like training you guys, I have always taught you that teamwork is number one.
Absolutely.
That communication is number one. that you treat each other as family, that we have to trust each other. You know, let's be real here, okay? We're going to be traveling on the road, okay? We got to experience this a few weeks ago, okay? Sometimes people are going to eat things that make their tummy upset, okay? And you're going to be with your crew, and there's nothing you can do about it, okay? Like,
and you going to get stuck on mountains.
You're going to get stuck on the side of a mountain. Someone's going to have a breakdown. Fun. Somebody's going to have a breakdown, okay? Pointing at myself. But in those moments, you're at a very vulnerable point. If you're sick on set, if you're stuck on set. We had a 4-wheel drive SUV, but we were stuck on the side of a mountain for a little bit. But you have to trust everybody around you that, if something happens, I can literally trust Chanel and Kat with my life. But with that is the family aspect. And I would never be narcissistic and put out a video without including the people who helped not just build Krystal, but build what Ghost Girl Diaries is. It takes more than one person, boo. It doesn't take one person. It takes a whole slew of people. And those people deserve a lot more credit than just you putting yourself out there and tooting your own horn. You know what I'm saying?
Boo.
Boo. Boo. So... lessons are, be a good person. It's really not that freaking hard, okay? We work with dead people on a daily basis, okay? Yep. That are, like, stuck in the gray zone eternally, and I just feel like your time here on this planet, you should just try to be a decent human being. I feel like it's not that hard. And stay in your bubble. Just stay in your lane.
This was good. I'm glad we had this talk.
Me
I feel
too.
Good.
It was therapeutic.
It's a nice relief.
We have released...
the demons.
Release demons. Don't clog any toilets, if you know what I'm saying. You just gotta be safe. That's all.
It's what?
I mean, things happen on set, y'all. Okay, like family.
It's true.
Remember Ghost Adventures? Wasn't there an episode where Zach farted in the heat thermometer or the EMF meter and it made it go up? I'm just saying. I
am dead.
Energy exists in a mini form.
No pun intended.
All I'm saying.
Yeah. That was hilarious.
And have good energy, man. I can't imagine us not laughing on set the way we do, because I feel like that's what creates such good energy too, when you're getting not just paranormal evidence, but creating a future for yourself. You have to be kind and trust people and just be a good person, and I think that's the lesson in all of this.
Absolutely.
And Ghost Girl Diaries, there's not going to be another Kat, Shanae, or Krystal to replace on any other show, is all I'm going to say, okay?
It's true. Amen.
Oh, man.
Amen, boo.
Some of the stories. Ooh, should we just briefly chat about, apparently, Travel Channel aired uncut footage of the Demon House? And apparently the edit was so screwed up. Did you guys see that on social media?
Yes.
Any comments? Any concerns?
Someone's getting fired. That's all I'm going to say on that. And it wasn't.
Make sure you know who's editing you on a project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, it was.
Make sure you know who's editing. Yep, big time. But unfortunately,
there's a lot of universal lessons going on.
There is.
And
now you
guys
know.
Only Monday.
I feel like it's only Monday. Shit.
It's only Monday.
And I feel like you guys get it though now. Why pre-production's so important. Production's important, and post-production. You can't have one of those areas fall. You know what I mean? To make the full thing, you have to trust people, but you also need to another lesson I feel like with Zach and Nick is making sure that you have creative control.
Yep.
Because if you don't have creative control, look at what happens. I mean, you can have some big boo-boos. So, okay, I feel good.
Man.
I feel like this chapter in my life has ended. I feel like I can move on with my life. I feel like the full moon was the perfect time to purge this. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Kat had a dream about a dragon. Clearly, we know who that was about.
It stressed me out.
You're hiding in the corner of a closet. Everything's fine, though, right? You're good now.
It's gonna be fine now. I'm gonna dream about ponies and unicorns now.
And alpacas.
And floating alpacas.
And knitting.
Well, and I'll knit using the alpaca's hair. If that's not weird. I made that weird.
And Chanel
But
is
it's late over
drinking
here.
blood out of her cauldron, right? The blood of your enemies is in the cauldron.
Yep.
Cauldron mug. Of course, she says.
She's like, how'd you know?
How did you know? Her copper mug. Okay.
Cheers.
See? I told you
Cheers.
guys. I told you. Just
Dead.
saying, you don't want to cross Chanel. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? Because if you cross Chanel...
Silent but deadly.
I'm dead. I'm so dead. I can't.
Me too.
I am deceased, officially deceased. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
So on that note, I feel like we are good. Any last words? Everybody good on that? We feel good. We can move on past this now.
Very good. It's time to move forward.
Well, and we are. Post-production is going beautifully. We're working our butts off. Krystal is almost in post. Blake is doing the editor's log, which is where you break down footage and go through one thing at a time. And I'm about to go into full post-production editor mode, which means I'm going to, like, be wearing a hoodie 24/7 and, like, living in the shadows, like, sitting at the computer constantly.
Your eye twitching.
Yep. Gonna be like
It's fine.
Thank God we live in Vegas because there's 24-hour Starbucks everywhere. Thank God, because I'm used to be making constant Starbucks runs. Like, get me Starbucks. So, Friday we will have a stream. What's on the schedule this week? Anything, Kat? Do you know?
Friday stream about our topic of the week on YouTube, 6 p.m. PST. Talking about the Battle of Los Angeles.
Ooh.
And then...
That's so weird when I was watching all those alien documentaries, like, a few days ago.
That is strange, huh?
That is
Very
so
strange.
creepy.
It's been an interesting topic to research.
Has it?
Yeah, and then Saturday, 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. EST, will be Krystal and Chanel talking about Edgar Allan Poe.
And probably some more conspiracies behind aliens, which I think will be fun. By the way, I ran a poll on Twitter of who believes in aliens, and I just want you guys to know I had a lot of people answer, and only 3% of y'all don't believe in aliens. And so I feel like y'all are the aliens that are saying no at this point, okay? Because if 97% of you believe that there are aliens, then the only people saying no are the aliens, is just what I'm saying. So... Anyway, had so much fun, girls. Thank you so much for chatting with me. I hope everybody at home enjoyed it. Our crazy antics as always. And, you know, this is just one of those times I felt like I needed to be honest about the past and the things I've been through. And I feel like I've been holding this in for a really long time. And it feels really good purging it and being honest with everybody about what happened. And... cheers to the future, onward and upward. I wish Nick, Katrina, especially Katrina, love her, and Elizabeth Saint, no harm. I hope that they find their path, whatever that is, and I hope that they have the most success that they can, because GGD will still continue on. We are very close to having something wonderful, and I can't wait to announce it when we do. But we are on our own path, and we wish everyone else the same, clearly. So
yes,
only good energy and vibes out. Unless you've crossed Chanel, then you'll be in the blood of her cauldron next.
You'll be in her cauldron. Oh my god.
And make sure you guys follow us all on social media. Please make sure you subscribe to all of our channels, including Twitch, YouTube, and our Patreon. And as always, we will catch you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye, guys.
See you later.
Are we done?
We're done. Okay. Okay, bye.
Cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through?